Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name's Deanna and today we will be working on week number 42 of my 52 weeks of Christmas. We're going to be doing a set of 3 of these Christmas trees. You end up with 2 pieces, so when you store them, you can store them flat. We're going to be making them 3 different sizes, and these just slide together here. So this is 1. So I kind of did them in a series. So this is 1 already done. And what I've done is I've taken a scrap chipboard, or you can use your regular chipboard. I just happen to have a lot of scraps. And I measured out, and you can do them any size you want. I have 3 sizes. I have 5 3/4, 6 1/4, and 7 inches. And it's just because of the size of my chipboard that I had. So I'm going to show you how I created this with this sample piece. This is 3 inches by 6 inches. And what I've done is I've split the difference between my width here. So it was 3 inches. So I marked at 1.5. You will have to mark your center at whatever you end up with for your tree width. So I'm going to take my trimmer here and I'm going to line up my bottom corner and my point for my center, and I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take my bottom corner and my center point, line them up, and trim that. There we go. So that is how I ended up with my tree shape. Then I took and I measured the center on the bottom here. So again, it's 1.5. Then I want to give myself a little room on each side for my chipboard. You're going to come approximately halfway up. So this is 6 inches tall. So we're going to come about to the 3-inch mark. And we're going to just try to center that on both sides here with just a light marking. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. So when we want to stop at our 3-inch mark, we want to make this wide enough for our chipboard pieces to slide together. And I have a lot of light in my room right now. So I have 2 good sized windows in my craft room. So it does create a lot of natural light in here. For that, I apologize. So that is how you would get your center point. Your second piece, so you're going to cut 2 of these for each tree. Your second piece, you would mark from the top down so that these slide together. So you go halfway down from the top of the tree, and then you go halfway up from the bottom for the other half of your tree. So that's how we do that. Now, I have kind of started these. Let me get the trimmer out of the way now because we're all done with that. And then you will cut your decorative cardstock the same way. So I cut my chipboard, and then I cut my decorative cardstock. That way I don't waste any. If you have pattern paper, then you're going to want to make sure that, you'll get a triangle. Let me take this apart again. Oops. So you get a triangle like this out of 1, and then your next piece comes from the next section, and then your next piece comes from that section, and then your next piece comes from that section. Okay, so you're going to need 4 for each one. Something like this, it really didn't matter with this paper if it was upside down or not. I didn't pay that much attention to it. So I'm going to use Heidi Swapp Believe Holly Jolly Christmas, and I'm using the front and the back of that. This is one side. One tree is going to be that way, and you've just seen the tree that is that way. The other paper I'm going to use is from Bo Bunny, and it's got the pine cones and then the foxes and stuff on the back. These are older papers, but all the colors seem to kind of go together good, so that is the other paper I'm going to use. And that was Bo Bunny Winter Wishes. Okay, so now I can get rid of this a minute. Okay, so I've got these ones cut and ready to go. So I've already trimmed out. Oh, my top is crooked there. Let me get my scissors here a second, see if I can cut that out a little bit. Just got a little piece of paper hanging in there. There we go. And sometimes it's off just a little bit when you go to the top. It doesn't show that much, but if that concerns you, you'll just have to be a little more careful than I am, apparently. So I've already got these cut. I've test fitted them and they work perfect. So I'm going to take my decorative cardstock here and we're going to glue this on, and then we'll be able to see underneath where to cut that slit out for this. This is the easiest way I've found to do it. You can glue this on and then cut it, but I thought this would be just a little bit easier. So there we go. So now I can see in there exactly where I need to cut. I'm going to bring my Cricut mat over here. I use my scrap mats. Instead of throwing them away, I use them as mats to cut on. So I'm going to take my blade and I'm just going to come in here. And it's much easier with just a single piece of paper. And then just go ahead and cut that. There we go. Looks like it didn't cut all the way through there, so we're going to do it again. And again. We're not widening the hole, we're just cutting out the paper that was there. There we go. And we have that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue our second half on. And then we'll be able to see from the front how to cut this one. And that just worked out a little bit easier. My first one I did, I had to attach the paper first and then cut it out. But I found that if it wasn't cut just right, the paper wanted to tear a little bit. So rather than tearing my paper, I figured this is easier. Yeah. Okay, so now we can see the red from there. So let's go back in and trim that out. Again, we're not widening our spot, we're just cutting out the paper. It looks like we got to hit this side just a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Now we have one part of our tree. Let's go ahead and do our second one. And these make nice tabletop displays, or on your kitchen counter, or I have one of these stands that you can put all the different things on, the 3 tiers, and I'm hoping, I think I can get some of these in there. If not, it'll make a cute display on my counter. So there we go. Tip there. There we go. Nope. Just a little piece hanging in there. There we go. All right. We'll go ahead and glue our back part on. There we go. So this is a very easy project. And like I said, if you want to save it, you just pull them apart and you can stack them up and they don't take up hardly any room to store. And you can make these any size you want. And they do not have to be made with chipboard. You can make them with paper if you like. I just wanted them a little stiffer, but paper would hold up, I'm sure, just fine. All right. Cut that. Yeah, there we go. Oops, there we go. All right. So now we're going to slide these two together, just like so. Make sure And I do test fits to make sure. Now I can sit it down and finish sliding it. So, okay. All right. See. There we go. So that is our second one. Let's slide this one back together here. And once you do it a couple times, slide them in and out, it gets easier. They slide a little bit better. So we've got two. And for a third one, we're going to be cutting those together. So let me show you. So I have started to cut it already. Let's see here. We've got this. And I want to match that up. I think this one has to go down. Again, just like I showed you on the previous thing. So I'm just going to cut these just a little bit. There we go. And we're going to cut this here. And check the back. Like I said, these are all scraps. You could use cereal boxes. I love using up my boxes. All right. Let's do a test fit. So we're going to slide them together. Whoops. Wide enough there. Okay, see? It stops right there. So I've got to make this one deeper. So I'm going to go back in here, stay at my same width, and go down, about another 1/4 of an inch. Make sure the back's good. There we go. Okay. Do another test fit here. Then we just go back and forth until we have it just right. And we're still a little short, but let's see which one needs to be trimmed here. Oh, I think they both need just a little bit. So we'll take a little bit more off of this one here. There we go. There we go. And we'll take a little bit off of this one. And once you have one done, you can kind of use that as your sample on the other ones, even though they're different heights. So let's try again here. There we go. I think we can go down just, oh, no, it says it's. There we go. It's level. Okay. So there we go. So now let's go ahead and get our board back here a second, our trimmer, and we will create those together. All right, here's my paper. I've marked it on the light side because it was easier than trying to do it on the back. I have marked my width here to match the width of this, which is 3.5 inches. So I went here and I marked 3.5 inches, and then I marked 3.5 inches again. And I usually use this see-through ruler. It's a lot easier for me. So I marked it at 3.5 inches down here. Oops, sorry, here, and then here. I went back in and I marked at 1.5 inches. Nope, I marked at 1 3/4. That's not right. Let me see. Let me double check this so I make sure. Okay, I have got 3.5 inches. All right, so that's right. So 3.5, half would be 1 3/4. So we are right on there. So mark it at 1 3/4. And I also marked 3.5 inches at this part because we're going to be doing V's, and we're going to need 4 of them. Let's see, we might have to remark the paper again. But let's go ahead and get started here with this one. I'm going to go from my corner here up to my halfway point for my first triangle. And when you move one, make sure you check the other one before you cut. They sometimes shift. All right, this piece here is just a scrap. We're going to turn it. We're going to go to our mark here. That is our 3.5 inch mark on that edge. Back to our center point here. Double check. There we go. All right, that's our first triangle. Now we're going to come from this point here where we just cut down to, oops, I didn't measure that. All right. So let's mark it here. 3.5. Okay, here we go. All right. So line up that edge and that edge. There's our second one. Now we're going to mark 3.5 inches here. Let's go ahead and just mark our second one here just in case. So we're going to go from this point to that point. Just like so. That's our third one. And then we're going to bring a 3.5 inch down here. Just look like this. We're going to go from that point to our 3.5 inch mark that we just created. And that will be our fourth one. There we go. So we're all done. So we have our 4 pieces. There we are. All right. And that is the easiest way for me to get my triangles. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's other methods, but that's the one I use. So let's go ahead and glue these on. This is a nice, quick project. You can decorate these if you like. I'm going to leave mine plain, but if you want to decorate some, you can. Let me get this up there a second. There we go. Press that. All right, we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to come in here and trim this paper out. Just like that. Double check, make sure it went through, and it did. Oops. Put that like that. There we go. Oops, we got just a little piece of paper in there. There we go. That's one. You can do these any color you want, any pattern. You can do them plain. You could even, if you wanted to, you could paint them. But to me, the paper is so much easier and quicker. Get it done very quick that way with the paper. All right, there we go. Back in here. Whoops. Trim it. Let's see what we got here. Okay, gonna come in on the side and trim a little bit more. Didn't go all the way through. There we go. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right, that's our first one. Let's bring in our next one. I like inexpensive decorations because that way I don't feel, especially if I'm using up materials that I already have, I don't feel like I'm spending a ton of money. You know, what do I got? Like 3 sheets of paper. And you could probably get away with 2 as long as they're not directional. You could probably get them out of 1 sheet. Well, no, you probably still have, but you know, I could have used scraps too that I have in my scrap bin, but then you got all different colors usually. So, and then for storage also, you know, sometimes it's just like, well, I love it, but where am I going to put it when I'm you can only have so much. I just don't have tons and tons of storage room. And, you know, after a couple of years, you kind of like, well, you know, I've been doing that for a while. And like different things. So this is a good way to incorporate some different things at low cost. And a new look. There we go. Ooh, there we go. Accidentally widened that one. I don't think it'll be visible, but not what I wanted to do. All right. Let's go ahead and give this a test fit here. Make sure we've got everything. Okay. Perfect. Look at that. Isn't that cute? All right. That is it on that project. So now we have 3 different heights. It's kind of hard for you to see, but they are 3 different heights. And like I said, you can make these any height you want. So, and I thought these all went really well together. This one's got the snowflakes and a little hint of music on them. This one's got the music notes and the red flowers. These were same paper line, just one side and then the reverse side. And then this is the one with the acorns. All right. So this one looks like it could actually go down just a little bit more. So I'm going to correct that right now. Let's see. Which one is shorter? This one. All right. We're going to correct that right now. Here we go. So this has to be just a little bit shorter. Turn it. Make sure it's going through. There we go. There we go. All right, let's try that again. And that's, I mean, I just keep going back and forth until it matches good. What do we got here? Ah, that's better. All right, that's better. Now it's sitting better. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by and joining me for another video tutorial. And if you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing at this time. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. And if you hit the bell there, you can be notified each time a new video is put up. So until the next time, hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.